There's about 8 more seats left to declare this morning, but the information is all in, really. And the clutch of Portillo moments, people were waiting for that. They came. Liz Truss, I think, will be the queen of those moments, looking impassively forward as if she's in a dock being given a sentence. And there's no emotion on her face at all. She's got her hands strapped to her side. And she lost by a significant margin, 630 votes, I think, against Labour. It wasn't Labour I expected who would defeat her, but go down she did. And as did Grant Shapps, the Defence Minister, Gillian Keegan, the ineffective Education Minister, Lucy Fraser, the completely useless Culture Minister. But we've had, I think, 13 Culture Ministers in 14 years, or maybe more, and it was seen as a stepping stone to higher ministerial power, and almost none of those 13 odd culture secretaries has been remotely effective, remotely useful, remotely focused on the job. Probably the greatest disappointment was Nadine Dorries, who was involved in culture and wrote a number of books about the back streets and page turners, but the page was turned on her as well. And she got out before the real damage set in, rapping the drum for Boris Johnson. Simon Hart, the chief whip, rather an ineffective chief whip. So in fact, what the electorate has done is to recognise the inability of these individuals. Johnny Mercer, the oftentimes very vocal veterans minister, but equally misjudged. He misjudged so much, and he was, as I say, very vocal, very strident, and often very wrong. And Penny Mordaunt, who probably is the one in this list who had some credibility, and she's out as well. Meanwhile, Farage won Clacton in a decisive victory, but the BBC had predicted 13 seats for Reform UK. It got 4. That's 3 more seats than I expected it would get. And I'm sorry about Giles Watling, who was a very good constituency MP in Clacton, and I know he put up quite a fight. But when you look at the figures of the overall votes cast for the various parties, you've got more votes cast for Reform than you've got cast for the Lib Dems. Reform got 4 seats, the Lib Dems got 71. The SNP got 9 seats so far. The Conservatives have got 119, which is slightly more than the worst predictions than the worst projections were anticipating. So far, the Labour Party have got 410 seats, which gives them a comfortable majority, but not actually significantly more than the Conservative Party had got under Boris Johnson. Under Boris Johnson, the Conservative Party had an 80-seat majority. This is a comfortable increase on that, but it's not the landslide that was actually projected. It is the most remarkable achievement, don't be in any doubt about that, to come from so far beneath the Conservatives, to turn that round so magnificently. But it's still not as much of a landslide as was predicted. It's very, very good. It's very secure, and the Labour Party will be able to do everything it wants to do with that majority. There is no question. And the Conservative Party, I think, given the people who have survived, the Suella Bravermans, and the Priti Patels, given that survival, I think the chances are the Conservative Party will lurch significantly to the right. And I had been hoping that they would be taken out and it would be left to someone like Tom Tugendhat to take control of the Conservative Party and drag them back into the centre. As it is, I think that is not a possibility now. That's my prediction, and I think you're going to see a lot of interplay between the Conservative rump and Reform UK. I expect if the Conservatives are taken over by Suella or Priti Patel, you will see a union between the Conservatives and Reform over the next 5 years. I think that is inevitable.